I'm about to be 40, which, I don't know, there's something about 40. Like, I don't feel old. I don't feel like I'm an old person. But I know I'm not young like I used to be. An older Nick, not older Nick, and a younger Nick would probably just basically throw a tantrum. How fitting. It fucking figures. Try to do something good and I fall. I'm covered in mud. You know, let the negative spin be the narrative. The last time I came to do this peaceful walk in the woods down by the lake, I fell and ate shit. It was actually pretty funny. I had been feeling real cooped up. Obviously, many of us are going through that same thing. We can all relate, feeling cooped up. I work from home. I'm trying to play my part and be safe, and I don't do anything, and I don't go anywhere unless absolutely necessary. So, feeling of being confined, feeling a little bit down, lacking a little bit of creative motivation. I'm like, I need to go out and clear my head. Go for a walk, get out into the nature. It always makes me feel better. So many people say it. It sounds cliche, sounds annoying, preachy, but it's true. So I came out, walked the same path I'm walking now. It was actually less damp and wet than it is now. And I got to a spot later. It's down by the woods. And slipped, fell on my ass and got completely covered in mud. So we're gonna avoid that today. But it got me thinking, like, my intentions were pure, were good. Come out, clear my head, breathe some fresh air, put myself in a better mental space. And then I fell. And there's a couple things that you can do in that moment. You can laugh like I did. First of all, you look around. You try to play it off. You make sure nobody saw. You know, you don't want to, how embarrassing to fall as an adult, you know? Now, obviously this year's different, and I'm very sympathetic for everything that's going on. As a matter of fact, my family has been financially affected for most of this year. And I only say that because I don't want to come across as insensitive. So act like this isn't happening in 2020, or I'm not saying these things in 2020, or maybe just open up your mind a little bit and try to truly understand where I'm coming from and what I'm trying to say. Oftentimes, like, our human instinct is to assume that the world is against us. I try to do something good for myself, I fall on my ass, get covered in mud. Like, it's comical. It's funny. Younger Nick would be pissed. You know, and this kind of got me thinking about something that a lot of you guys ask me about. Questions, comments, emails, Facebook messages. P.S. If you're messaging me on Facebook, more often than not, I'm going to miss it, or I won't respond quickly because I don't go on Facebook. I am not a fan of Facebook. I actually think it's part of the problem. But that's a tangent. What I'm trying to say is, a lot of you guys message me, reach out, ask me in live streams like, hey, how do you finish all your music? How do you know when a song is done? My stuff isn't finished. I don't know how to do this. How do I do this? What do you think? This is a common question. What do you think's better, this or this? What should I do here, this or this? What's gonna sound better, this or this? Now, there's a few ways I can go about answering these things. Technically, how I do it, how someone says you should do it, or I'll say this, and this has been my response to a lot of things, and I don't mean it to be dismissive. How does it sound to you? How do you think you should finish something? A lot of you guys see and follow and enjoy some of the stuff that some of us guitar players do on YouTube, show your support, you follow, you buy our music, you listen to our music. That's the point. That's why I got into it. Music industry is different. You have to share your music in different ways. So that's why I got into YouTube, to share my music, and it developed into helping everybody. And what the hell am I trying to say? I'm trying to say, I have the same issues you guys do. I have writer's block. I have songs I don't finish. I feel like I'm a bad guitar player. I don't think I deserve any recognition. I don't feel creative. You know, that happens all the time. I go through it all the time. Me and Scott Bunn, we talk about it all the time. These are the things that a lot of you guys seem to think that doesn't affect creative people, but it does in a big, big way. The only difference between the people that you see as go-getters, productive people, you know, use whatever word you want to use. The difference between them and you is just a level of grit, and I mean the ability to push through those moments of doubt. Those times when you feel like you're not good enough, you don't know what you're gonna do. You have to work through those moments. You have to push through. Sometimes that means just sitting down and putting your nose to the grindstone and fighting through it. Sometimes it means stepping away. Sometimes it means doing something completely different. Sometimes it means collaborating. Whatever it means, but acknowledge that you're in one of those moments, temporary moments, and work through it. That will set you apart from somebody who doesn't finish anything, who doesn't put out their own music, who doesn't go anywhere with their creative endeavors. That's the differentiator. Grit and effort. We all have the same hurdles, obstacles, and run into the same hiccups. Don't think that because I put out several tracks this year, I'm better than you. I just sacrifice a lot of things. You know, obviously this year we all had to sacrifice a lot of things. But in everyday normal life, I don't go and hang out with people as much. I don't go hang out at bars very much. I don't watch that much TV, / hardly any TV at all. You know, I give up a lot of I used to love gaming. I really don't game anymore. I devote my time to my family, my household, my few very close friends, and music. And a lot of the times, my friends and my family know where my passion lies. And seeing as I have older kids, my wife works, she's very supportive, I'm able to put heads down time into my music and into my creative stuff. But I give up all that other stuff, you know? And if you want to be productive, you just have to figure out what's more important to you. That's it. And if you don't see as being creative or writing new tracks, making new music as a priority, then that's okay, and that's not your thing. Then just accept it as a hobby, but don't get down on yourself, because we all go through the same problems, you know? Now, to touch on those questions about this or that, like, what sounds better, this or that? What should I do, this or that? What piece of gear should I use, this or that? Like, I understand where people are coming from. You guys are wanting to understand how to do something. You're wanting to get there quicker. You're wanting to get to the sound you hear in your head faster. I get that completely. And it should be said that there are industry standards or staples of recording, and there are classic go-tos, shit like that. But that doesn't mean it's the right answer. It's the only answer. Music and creative endeavors are so subjective, you know, and it's not a cop-out answer when I say this. When you guys ask it, How does it sound to you? Are you getting close to the sound you want? What I think sounds good, many people don't think sound good. Trust me, they let me know. That's the beautiful thing about the internet. A-holes get to express their opinions all they want. You basically have to just ignore it all. What sounds good to you? And you know what? If you're authentic with it, if you create something that's genuine, people will gravitate towards it. Sometimes a lot, sometimes a few. But even if it's a few, and you continue to create really great things, those fans will do more for you than any number of casual fans, you know? So the point is, when it comes to those types of questions, those types of inquiries, what sounds best? What should I use, this or that? First of all, you gotta do some homework. Figure out how to use what you're trying to use. Put some time into it. Read the manual. There's an acronym people throw on internet forums all the time. RTFM. Read the effing manual. And I think that's a bit of a snarky way to answer somebody who's genuinely asking for a question, but I get where they're coming from. They have a point. Read the manual. Try and figure things out for yourself first. And after that, you're running into hurdles, obstacles, or hiccups. That's when you reach out. You know, if you have some specifics on what your problem is, people are way faster, a little bit more delightful, and willing to answer your question, you know? So you have to put some work in. I think that's the thing. When people who know what they're talking about come across somebody asking simple questions and it feels like you didn't put any work in, that's when people get snarky. And that's when you see that people respond with, read the effing manual. So you have to put some work in first. And I get the same way. If I feel like you're just asking a question, A, that you should know by simply exploring the product or the piece of gear or reading the manual, something simple, I'll get a little short. I can admit that. The next thing I'd suggest is have an idea of what you're going for and go from there. You know, you have to know what sound you're trying to attain, what look you're trying to get to. Again, I guess that kind of goes into like the legwork, the research, the effort. You need to know what you're trying to go for. And if you know that, then you know what direction to go in. And I guess for now, I'd sum it up by saying, don't let the rules or traditions that are in place about this, that, or the other thing keep you from exploring what could potentially be something very creative. Let me give an example. When I first started getting into guitar, after I was playing for a little while, and I kind of looked into what is this drop D people talk about. And I found out about it, played with it, and then I heard from people, fellow guitar players, friends, you know, this was like early 2000s at the time. Reading in magazines, drop D is a crutch. Drop D is for guitar players who, you know, aren't good, etc., etc. Talking it down. And the funny thing is, after all these years of playing, you know, I pretty much started playing in '99. After all these years of playing, I play in drop C almost exclusively, and that tuning has led to some of my best work. That's not to say that in standard tuning I wouldn't have created something great, but had I not explored what a different tuning could do, even against those who were saying it's a crutch or it's for weak guitar players, etc. Okay, all right, maybe I am. I'm not the greatest guitar player. I don't care. It led me to my creative outlet, and you shouldn't let any rules or traditions keep you from being creative too. That's the point I'm trying to make. So if you're questioning whether or not you should be using this to get this or that to get that, don't do it. Learn about it, see how other people are using it, and apply it the way you think it sounds good. That's all that you need to worry about. F the haters and do what you want to do to be creative. And if it's genuine and good, people will dig it. That's all you need to worry about.